Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a bright, early summer morning in Munich. You're this English traveler, right? Setting off for what looks like a really pleasant drive, the air's got that holiday feeling. Sounds idyllic, doesn't it? It's perfect tranquility. But then, just as you're about to leave, there's this subtle shiver of dread. Almost immediately, the maître d'hôtel, Herr Delbruck, he gives your coachman, Johann, this stern, almost, well, cryptic warning. He says, remember, you are back by nightfall. The sky looks bright, but there's a shiver in the north wind that says there may be a sudden storm. And then the clincher, the bit that makes Johann cross himself for you know what night it is, that unspoken what night it is, just boom, changes the whole mood.
Absolutely. It immediately signals we're stepping into a world where, these ancient beliefs are very real.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating there is how Bram Stoker, right from the get-go, punctures that idyllic setting. It's not with like jump scares or anything, but with this deep sense of foreboding. He's using anticipation, making us feel that that primal chill, that warning in the air, even with the sun shining.
Yeah.
It's a classic Gothic move, really. Set up the normal world, then subtly pull the rug out. Leaves you wondering what's lurking just beneath the surface. And for Victorian readers, this hint of foreign superstition. Deeply unsettling.
Oh, absolutely. It's that hint of the unknown that really grabs you. So Johann is clearly on edge. As they get out of town, our narrator starts pressing him a bit. And Johann, looking pale, agitated, he eventually offers just one chilling phrase. Walpurgis Nacht.
There it is.
He checks his watch, this big old-fashioned silver thing, clearly desperate not to waste any time. But the narrator, being, the curious Englishman, he's already spotted this little used road. Looks quite inviting, winding into a valley. And despite Johann getting more and more uncomfortable, the narrator insists, let's go down this road. Johann's making all sorts of excuses, keeps crossing himself. You can almost feel his fear. When pushed, he kind of blurts out this fragmented stuff about him what killed themselves.
Oh, the suicide burial.
Yeah, referring to that old custom of burying suicides at crossroads. And right then, the horses get jumpy, sniffing the air. Then there's this sound described as between a yelp and a bark, far off.
Creepy.
Johann's terrified now. Says, it sounds like a wolf, but yet there are no wolves here now.
And this is where Stoker really starts weaving in that deep European folklore, to make the terror feel grounded. The crossroads, like you said, classic liminal spaces. Where worlds meet, decisions happen.
Right.
And, well, supernatural stuff can cross over more easily, according to belief. And mentioning suicide burials there, that's not just like a random spooky detail. It taps into these really old fears of the unquiet dead. Those buried outside hallowed ground. Their spirits might linger, cause trouble. Stoker's basically telling us subtly, this isn't just a road trip. It's a descent into a place steeped in, spiritual danger. The veil is thin here.
Exactly. It's not just a path. It feels heavy, burdened. Johann's fear is just ramping up. So when the narrator keeps asking about this road, Johann finally mumbles a prayer and just declares it unholy.
Unholy, wow.
And when asked why, he points to this deserted area and reveals the village.
Yeah.
No one lives there. Hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years.
Then he launches into this garbled, terrified explanation why.
Which really makes you ask, doesn't it? What kind of horror could make people abandon their homes for centuries? Just leave everything.
Yeah, what could do that?
Johann's story, even though it's fragmented, mixed German and English, it paints this truly chilling picture. Men had died there, buried.
Yeah.
But sounds were heard under the clay.
Oh, God.
And when the graves were opened, men and women were found rosy with life and their mouths red with blood. It's basically the vampire myth right there, before Dracula even properly appears. The fear of the dead not being dead, of life itself being corrupted. It's presented as this systemic horror, something that wiped out a whole community, not just one monster.
It's those vague details that are somehow worse, aren't they? More unsettling. Our narrator, though, he just dismisses Johann's paroxysm of fear and the cries of Walpurgis Nacht.
Typical.
His English blood rose in defiance. Tells Johann to go home. Walpurgis Nacht doesn't concern Englishmen and just turns down that crossroad into the valley alone. But, the world quickly reminds him it has power. As Johann's leaving, this man, tall and thin, appears on the crest.
He's a mysterious stranger.
Causes Johann's horses to just scream with terror and bolt. And poof, the stranger vanishes. Our narrator, initially feeling quite bold, soon finds that bravado fading. The weather turns fast. gets considerably colder, and there's this weird sighing sound around me, sometimes a muffled roar high overhead.
The atmosphere is changing.
Yeah, what started as a nice drive is now this desolate, lonely tramp into a brewing storm. Snow starts, wind howls, he's lost, freezing. Just flashes of lightning showing these ominous yew and cypress trees.
See, that's Stoker at his best again. The environment itself becomes like an antagonist. The narrator's rationalism, that Englishness, it's being stripped away by nature's fury, which is mirroring the whole supernatural chaos of Walpurgis Night. The storm isn't just bad weather, it feels like part of the confrontation, and being alone just makes it all the more terrifying.
And as if that wasn't enough, things get overtly ominous. He's looking for shelter in the trees and hears that weird sound of the wolf, but now it seems echoed by many similar sounds around me.
Oh, great. Surrounded.
Then a break in the moonlight reveals he's stumbled into a graveyard, cypress and yew everywhere, classic spooky setting.
Naturally.
He follows a low wall, finds an alley, and then this great massive tomb of marble as white as the snow. Not just any tomb, though. He feels compelled to get closer, reads the inscription over the door. Countess Nollingen of Gratz in stay, sought and found death, 1801.
Okay.
And then the really chilling part, on the top of the tomb, a great iron spike or stake.
Ah, the stake.
And on the back, in Great Russian letters, the words, "The dead travel fast."
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Not just plot-wise, but for understanding how Stoker's playing with folklore and fear. That iron stake, it's not just some Gothic prop. It reflects actual, brutal historical practices.
Really?
Oh yeah, staking was a real method people in parts of Europe used, believing it was the only way to pin a vampire, keep the undead down. Stoker's tapping into something tangible, brutal fears people held, making the horror feel grounded, immediate, blurring that line between myth and, well, grim reality.
Wow.
And that Russian phrase, the dead travel fast, it's more than just creepy poetry. It speaks to the unstoppable nature of this kind of evil, a direct nod to the vampire lore bubbling up at the time.
That mix of real history and supernatural horror is so effective, isn't it? Our narrator, now feeling faint, probably wishing he'd listened to Johann, gets hit by this terrible shock. This is Walpurgis Night.
The realization hits.
It wasn't just a scary night. In Germanic folklore, this is the night, eve of May 1st. Witches, demons, spirits gathering.
A night with deep cultural resonance of menace.
For Stoker's audience, this would have been loaded with meaning. And right on cue, a perfect tornado burst upon him, just unleashed. Driven by massive hailstones, he scrambles for refuge in the deep Doric doorway of the marble tomb.
The tomb itself.
He leans against the huge bronze door, and it actually moved slightly and opened inwards.
Oh no.
He's about to go in, maybe, when a flash of lightning reveals what's inside. A horrifying sight. A beautiful woman with rounded cheeks and red lips seemingly sleeping on beer. Looks peaceful, but...
It's Walpurgis Night in a staked tomb.
Exactly. Then, bam! He's grasped as by the hand of a giant and hurled out into the storm.
Wow.
Another lightning flash shows the iron stake striking the tomb, the marble blasting and crumbling, and the dead woman rose for a moment of agony while she was lapped in the flame, and her bitter scream of pain was drowned in the thunder crash.
That is the absolute climax of the dread, right there. Ancient fears becoming terrifyingly real for him. Stoker uses the storm's fury brilliantly, mirroring the supernatural chaos.
Yeah.
And the woman's fiery end. It's not a peaceful awakening, is it? It's gruesome, violent, a purging. It suggests this ancient evil is being met with equally violent force, a moment of terrible beauty and just overwhelming horror. It shows the sheer destructive power involved.
It's an absolutely terrifying image. Sticks with you. The last thing he remembers is being seized in the giant grasp and dragged away, seeing this vague white moving mass.
Oh, no, man.
As if all the graves around me had sent out the phantoms of their sheet dead and that they were closing in on me. Then blackout. Slowly, consciousness returns to a vague beginning. Pain, numbness, this icy feeling down his spine. But then, surprisingly, a sense of warmth in his chest and this weird physical nightmare of a heavyweight on my chest.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. After some time in this semi-lethargy, he becomes aware of this vast stillness, broken only by low panting as of some animal close to me. Then he feels it, a warm rasping at my throat.
Oh, God, no.
The chilling realization hits. Some great animal was lying on me and now licking my throat. He opens his eyes, sees the two great flaming eyes of a gigantic wolf. Its sharp white teeth are right there, its hot breath, fierce and acrid on him.
Okay, that is a remarkable twist, isn't it?
Completely.
The wolf, which was the symbol of menace earlier. Remember Johann's fear? No wolves here now.
Yeah.
Now it seems to be protecting him, keeping him warm, maybe even guarding him from those phantoms. It just flips everything. Stoker plays with that ambiguity. Is the wolf good? Or just an agent of some other more complex power? And then the soldiers arrive shouting about needing sacred bullets, but they always shoot the narrator instead. It perfectly shows that clash, doesn't it? Between the supernatural they just saw and the human need to find a rational explanation quick.
Yeah, the officer immediately taking control.
Exactly. Say a dog. Just shutting it down. Control the narrative, because the truth is too much.
It really does change how you see the whole night. So our narrator gets taken back to the hotel, the Quatre Safran. Hardell Brick is there, all concern. He explains the search party was sent because Johann got back with the wrecked carriage.
Plausible enough.
But then he reveals the real reason. A telegram. From the bore whose guest you are. And this telegram, it's the final piece of the puzzle. It reads, "Be careful of my guest. His safety is most precious to me. Spare nothing to find him. He is English and therefore adventurous."
Adventurous, right.
"There are often dangers from snow and wolves in night. Lose not a moment. I answer your zeal with my fortune, Dracula."
And there it is. Stoker pulls back the curtain. The whole nightmare, the storm, the graveyard, the attack, even the wolf's weird protection. It was all, if not orchestrated, then certainly anticipated and managed from afar.
By Dracula.
By Dracula himself. It completely reframes everything, adds these layers of mystery. Our narrator wasn't just lost, he was being watched under this chilling form of observation and, yeah, protective.
Creepy protection.
Definitely creepy. It hints at Dracula's immense power, his foresight. He's not just a monster, he's a master manipulator, commanding elements, beasts. Seeing his guest as a valuable piece in some larger game makes you wonder, what is this protection? And what's the catch? What's the ultimate cost?
What a journey indeed. From that sunny Munich drive to, well, hell and back on Walpurgis Night. Seeing the undead, being saved by wolves, and finding out it was all under the purview of the biggest horror icon there is.
Yeah.
Our narrator, who started out laughing at local fears, dismissing superstition, he's definitely a changed man now. He's seen folklore become terrifyingly real, all while being watched by this enigmatic figure whose motives are just chillingly unclear.
And this deep dive into Dracula's guest, it leaves us with a really unsettling question, doesn't it? If the devil is out doing his thing on Walpurgis Night, and the dead do travel fast, what does it even mean when the most feared figure around is also the one making sure you're okay?
Right. What kind of safety is that?
Exactly. What kind of protection comes from that source? What's his purpose in the long run? What's the price tag? It really makes you think, about loyalty, about power, and the shadows that even protectors might cast. The terrifying cost of being under such a powerful, watchful eye.
The world is definitely full of those layers. And sometimes, yeah, the biggest insights creep out from the darkest corners of imagination and folklore. Keep exploring.